What's up, fish tank people? FishTankTV.com. Dustin's Fish Tanks bringing it to you on a Sunday, baby. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. So today, it's Sunday. It's all about Species Sunday today. A couple weeks back, I showed you a guppies video, guppies contest from the American Livebearers Association. They had a guppy event right along with it. Today's video, we're going to show you about the American Livebearers Association and the contest and a bunch of fantastic live bears that I got to see when I was out in St. Louis a couple weeks back. Before we show you that, I do just want to show you all and tell you all something about that. That was hosted by the people at the Maasai convention. That's the Missouri Aquarium Society. Really super duper strong club. Like, they have a hardcore newsletter called The Darter. That club opened their doors. Gary Don't Carry Lang opened his doors. Mike Hellwig, a couple other guys just opened up that have tours of their amazing fish rooms. You can click the links around and see some of those fish rooms videos that I took when I was out there a while back. I went back out there for this event. Just totally awesome. One of the things that I enjoyed most about this event was the hardcore fish tank people come from miles around to buy, sell, and trade their stuff. They actually had a swap meet that was supposed to start at 9. People started busting out their boxes at 8:30. Oh, black coolie, nice. What do you want for the trident? 8.
And this one, $10. $10. $10.
I don't even think so.
And look at this. I mean, for it's beautiful.
You know,
I mean, look at this. It's got. I mean, look at this.
Sorry.
You guys are wrong.
No.
For $10.
But you gotta, I don't have change.
Will you save one for tomorrow?
Does somebody here have change? I would say.
I mean, I can bring change.
Let me see if I can find change. How's this?
All I have is
I might have change.
Wait a minute. Let me see the fossil. What kind of fossil?
It's kicking rocks up for it.
Love your fish, man.
Hey, I think I had more.
Ron, do you have change for a 20? I don't know if I do or not.
You don't have any alphas here, do you?
Any what? No. Sorry. Haven't I brought an elf? I don't in there. Let me see what I have.
I was like a kid in a candy store, like, give me some more of them fish right there, like just all over it, like buying stuff left and right. I actually bought some of these rainbows you see here from my man Gary Don't Carry Lang that he caught himself in Brisbane. Like, how cool is that? A bunch of other awesome live bears. I actually came home with a couple $100 worth of fish. I actually went live on YouTube. You can click the link to see some of the fish as well. So you guys, I really challenge you. I know I got, you know, a somewhat younger audience to really get to these shows. These guys aren't the best at marketing their stuff. I feel like it's kind of my job to help promote this kind of thing, but it's important because, one, you're supporting like super awesome, you know, genetics and just like old school people that have amazing fish, and two, you get to cop amazing fish. You get to bring home just fantastic fish. Like, I cannot get lyre tails like this. You're not going to get this kind of stuff at Deathco. So enjoy this video of live bears. It starts out with goodeids, which I'm so on, but at the end I've got an amazing live bear contest, a bunch of beautiful fish to show you. It isn't easy to get these old folks on video either. They aren't exactly loving me throwing a camera in their face, so thank you, Rit, for giving me some time. I didn't win the bottle of wine that I had to buy into the raffle to get him to go on video. But here's a video on live bears, folks. Have a fabulous week. Drop me a comment on your favorite live bears and what you think about these fantastic fish. Oh yeah. What's up, fish tank people? FishTankTV.com, Dustin's Fish Tanks, bringing it to you from the American Livebearers Association. I am pumped to be here because these are a bunch of old school guys that are super knowledgeable. The ALA's been going on for a long time, and I've cornered them and put them in a headlock. He had a bunch of wine he was trying to get set up for the wine tasting. Rit, say hello. Say hello. Yeah, and you have been with the ALA for how long? And give us just a little backdrop on how long the ALA has been going on and what you guys are about before you show me all these great fish.
Okay, ALA was established in the early 70s by two people, Joanne Norton, who was a doctor in Iowa, and Jim Langhammer, who was at the time was the curator of fishes at the Belle Isle Aquarium, now closed, but it was in Detroit.
Okay.
Because they realized that live bearers were an important entity. I was the chairman of the ALA for about 5-6 years. I say 5 or 6 because I went through my tenure and then I came back in for about a year before I decided to retire. And today here at this convention in St. Louis, I am going to be judging some of the fish.
Okay, and we're going to talk about goodeids first, and if I can kind of get down and talk about goodeids from a high level here, and then just I'll kind of go through each one of these tanks so you can just kind of...
The goodeids family of Livebearers is essentially all from central Mexico. It is a true livebearer in that the male and the female have to play tag for each spawn. It's not like guppies where they can store up and have multiples from one tagging. These are viviparous fish. They look a lot different from...
What does viviparous mean? I got rookies.
True livebearers.
Okay.
That is, they don't have... The eggs in a guppy are basically eggs for a long time, and then when the eggs hatch, they pop out.
Gotcha.
But these guys, the fish actually develops inside of the female.
The fish comes out alive.
Comes out
Swimming.
alive, and actually will sit on the bottom for as much as an hour, 20 minutes usually, before it gets up and starts swimming. The interesting thing about these, and if we can get a good specimen to
Sure.
look at, I'll show you what I mean. If you take a look at this guy right here, his anal fin kind of looks like the state of Michigan. It looks like a mitten. Because they don't have a gonopodium like guppies and mollies and swordtails. They actually have an andropodium, which is like the thumb of a mitten, and he kind of has to slap the female to do their thing.
Okay.
Can you see that on there a little bit?
I'm gonna try to. He's looking right at us, but I think I got the shot earlier.
Glare off of that stuff too.
What about up here?
That guy might be doing his posing for you.
Okay.
You see that?
Yeah, I've got that there. We're looking at the anal fin, how it has the...
Yep. It's got that little thumb off the bottom.
Okay.
You might have to edit that one a little bit. Now
Yeah,
that's
well, we got it.
Scyphia multipunctata, the Scyphia genus of fish, is part of the 42 or so goodeids livebearers from central Mexico. The interesting thing is that like 30 of them are on the endangered list.
Really?
Because of
Move this way a little bit.
population problems, mainly pollution. There's a interesting one right here. This is Chapelictodon from El Toboso,
wow.
sometimes called the Audax. These guys are all being redescribed by a couple of scientists right now, but this used to be called Cracodon Audax.
I see what you mean on the mitt there.
Yeah, that mitt is really prevalent because this guy has black finnage.
And that's part of what they use with the feet.
That is what they use.
Okay.
That's the equivalent of a guppy's gonopodium. So kind of really interesting stuff. So these guys are kind of all in trouble. We're working with universities and stuff to see if we can help them. This one right here that you're looking at, called the crescent goodeid, Zoogeneticus tequila, has just recently been reintroduced into the wild because it thought was to be extinct there and only lived in aquariums.
And it's been reintroduced to the wild. That's awesome.
Yep, that was a big project put on by the university in the town of Morelia, Mexico, which is about 3 hours west of Mexico City, in the highlands.
Okay. What have we got down here?
The other interesting thing about this family of fish is that whereas you can expect guppies and mollies and swordtails to breed about every 28 days, these guys are much less than that. It's probably more like 72. Now there's a lot of guys that specialize in particular stuff. I'm kind of a generalist, but I have bred about 30 of these 42 species.
Okay. So we've hit the goodeids, and that's probably relatively new to a lot of people. Can I swing you over to the swordtails? Can we look at some of these real quick? Or?
Well, you probably can get somebody who's more of an expert on swordtails than I am. But when people think of swordtails, they think of what they see in places like Petco and PetSmart.
Which is not the case.
Well, there's probably 50 different species of swordtails. I don't know exactly how many.
Oh, and these are variatus. This is not even,
Well,
I've got some of these.
It's all in the Zophophorus family of fish, okay? Because every fish, like every animal in the world, has a genus and species.
Sure.
And the genus of these variatus, platies, and swordtails is all Zophophorus.
Okay.
So this is just like a tailless swordtail, if you would. But I mean, there's, like I said, plenty of other people who know a lot more about swordtails than I do. It's not one of my specialties. But essentially, it's a New World Livebearer. You only find them in a range from like northern Mexico south into very northern parts of South America, Central America. And the nice thing is that a lot of people have taken this fish and crossed it and done some work with it, so they get lots of color variations, because the original green swordtail is what you see. The black molly wasn't even black when it was introduced. But you can find mollies, which is a little bit different from swordtails, in southern Florida. That is endemic to southern Florida.
Oh, look at this guy. And these are variatus, man. These are cool.
Yeah, a lot of, well, variatus, what does it mean? It means it varies a lot, and you can find a lot of different color variations in it, even in the wild.
And you guys can click the links around here. I got some of these in my greenhouse as well. I got from guys down at Imperial that got
Mike
the real
tried
high. Yeah, Mike got, I got some real nice high fins from Mike. He gave me the fry.
I wanted Mike to come to the convention, but his kid is in a baseball tournament this weekend. So.
I called Mike on my way here and I said, dude, what should I be looking for? And he goes, text me pictures. I gotta go. My wife's giving me the hairy eyeball because I'm at my kid's basketball.
Well, he's the manager of the team.
Right, and he also sent you guys some fish too.
Yes, he did.
What did Mike D send you guys? You use any of them around here? Or?
2 cases.
2 cases?
I don't know what was in them, but I know he was
yeah, he's good with the Livebearers. And he actually, him and Chuck got me into him.
Chuck
Bramer. Chuck Bramer sent me home with some stuff, and I'll butcher the scientific name on them. They look a lot like these that I have in my my greenhouse here. In fact, that's
with a very long sword.
Real long sword, a little more neon in it though, a little more blue neon in it.
Okay, it is probably a Montezuma sword from a different location. There's probably 3 of them, and some of them are like the ones just to the left of where you're photographing.
Yeah, and it doesn't. Mine doesn't have the fin. Mine doesn't have the fin like that on the top though. It's got a more spots on it, and it's got more spots, and it's got a more blue. I'll find it though, and Chuck's around here.
Yeah, none of these are really labeled well, so it's difficult to tell which from what collection site.
So a lot of the people that watch this might be beginners or not really like super pros. What would be some just general beginner advice on husbandry, what to feed them? I mean, what kind of do you put them with plants? Do they not need plants? Food, just some general information. Oh, that's a beauty right there.
One thing for sure about swordtails is cover the tank.
Cover the tank?
Yes.
Okay.
I've had too many occasions where if I even left the cover partially off the tank, I found a fish on the floor the next day.
Really?
And they don't do too well once they're on the floor.
No, they don't come back in.
No.
So cover the tank. What size tank would you recommend though? You're talking, Johnny 14-year-old, he's just getting into the hobby. You want to get him in right. 20-gallon work?
20 long as opposed to high.
Okay, and why is that?
It's a swimming fish. It likes to swim around. I mean, if you take a look at these guys, they're all pointing into a corner because there's not enough room for them to, get out and you put it in high gear, so to speak.
Okay. Wow, look at these guys.
Well, remember that at the ALA convention, you're going to see the best of the best.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm here. And I spent way too damn much money last night buying these from people.
Oh yeah, I mean, I wanted to buy a pair of fish, and when they got to over $60, I said, ooh. Only because of transportation problems. I'd love to have that particular species, but I'm not going to try to risk the fish.
Sure.
I'd rather let somebody else take it and then buy some offspring from him.
And I've got a 5-hour drive ahead of me where I got about at least 50 fish to get home and acclimate.
Well, I'm not worried about the 5 hours. I'm on 2 flights. And I don't like the idea of fish in my suitcase, because you can't bring them on the plane, but you can pack them in a suitcase. So if you're on vacation someplace and you happen to stop into this little obscure pet shop and you find something that you really like, if the guy bags it correctly, you can put them in your pack and put them in your luggage, wrap some t-shirts around them, stuff like that, to protect the bag and make sure it doesn't get punctured, and bring them home on an airplane. But have the guy bag it so the bag is not real tight, because what's going to happen is that bag is going to inflate at altitude.
Ah,
That's called Boyle's Law, and scuba divers will know what I'm talking about.
because you don't go up too fast from the bottom, right? Similar.
And when you go up in the air, the air in the bag will actually expand.
Okay.
The same way that a scuba diver goes underwater, the further down he goes, that air contracts. So at 30 feet of depth, my tank will last an hour. The same tank at 100 feet only lasts 7 minutes.
Oh, wow. I got one of these last night. What is this, a hamburger or is that a bird? What is that?
Some people call it a Hamburg, some people call it a tuxedo.
Yeah, I got
But
4 of those
basically
coming with me.
It's a domesticated swordtail. It might be a cross of 2 or 3 different species of Xiphophorus, the family of swordtails. That one actually has a fairly short caudal extension.
And what are you looking for in the sword? The sword should be as length of the body, or was there a rule with the length of the sword?
That's pretty much involved in the eyes of the beholder.
Okay. Oh,
That
this
one's
fish
a
is
little bit different
wicked.
because it's a high fin lyre tail. Notice that the tail of the fish is branched, or in the shape of what they call the lyre. It's an old-fashioned Roman instrument where it flares out, as opposed to the standard swordtail, which doesn't have that extension off the top of the tail fin. So that's a true high fin lyre tail.
That is a wicked fish. Oh, these are all.
I've seen guys pay $50 for a male.
Yeah.
And they're almost impossible to cross because they have a little trouble.
They can't get it. It's harder to breed them.
It almost requires what they call artificial insemination. We had a guy come down from Cornell University 3 years ago and talk about how to do that.
Really?
How to take a male hyphen lyre-tail sword and get the stuff out of them that you can pop into the female.
Wow. Because the lyre tail, because with all the way their finnage is, it's harder for them to breed.
Almost impossible to swing that thing around.
That's too. A lot of jokes in there. I'm
I'm trying to be politically correct here because
that's
I don't
funny.
want any 9 or 12
No,
year olds
I got you. I got you.
asking mom and dad about it.
Yeah, no, I understand. And
But,
they,
I mean, you have to talk about reproduction when you talk.
yeah, no, for sure. And then the lyre tail, the talk they gave, it was said, somebody said that it's you won't, or no, it was Mike D I was talking to. He said you won't know until they're older if they're going to have it or not. If they do,
usually it takes a little time to develop, but if you talk to the geneticists, and I'm not really big on genetics, right? But if you have this red fish and you have this black fish, which one is going to be the color that comes out, because it's called the dominant color, as opposed to the recessive color, which is the one that's not going to come out. Because people have the same traits, you know. I mean, I remember they saying, how tall are you going to be when you grow up? And the answer is 60% of your dad's height plus 40% of your mom's height if you're a male, and the opposite if for a female. But more often than not, the male is going to turn out to be about the same height, if not a little taller than his dad. Females will be about the same height, if not a little bit different from mom.
wow.
You know?
Well, Rit, I know I strong-armed him within like 5 minutes of meeting him and said, help me out with this video. So thank you so much. Where can people find out more about your organization? What's the website? When's the next convention? Give us some details if people want to learn out more.
Okay, the Livebearer Association has a website. It's called livebearers.org, www.livebearers.org.
Okay.
There's a lot of information on that. We publish a bulletin 4 times a year. It's a very nice one. I wish I had one to hold up, but I got it in my room.
That's all right.
The nice thing about the organization is that the people are very much willing to exchange information.
Yeah.
We have 2 regional clubs that we're affiliated with, one in Chicago and one meets in the Northeast. We have a convention once a year, which is usually in the spring. I don't know where it's going to be next year.
Okay.
The board of directors is going to meet and talk about that today. So we might know soon.
Okay.
I've got
Well,
some
we'll link up the stuff and everybody can check it out. And will you guys be doing the aquatic experience and representing there? And
It's entirely
it's
possible.
entirely possible. All right. We'll
The other thing that we do is we do have what we call an e-trader, which is basically email, where we'll send out a list of, I have a lot of these, but I'm looking for that, or I'm looking for that, but I have a lot of these type fish, where you can pick up live bearers. And the thing I do want to mention is,
please do. It's your show, man.
is that, I mean, I've looked at stuff on the websites that people have, like Aquabid.
Sure.
I'm not going to pick on that one, but the thing is, if you're going to buy a fish off the internet, talk to the person first, because you want to make sure that you're getting what you're expecting to get.
Okay.
Some of these guys are very good, but I have talked to people that said, oh no, this is this fish, and when I looked at photos of it, it wasn't.
I gotcha. All right, well, thank you so much, folks. If you like what we're doing, subscribe, click the links around for there. I've got more to show you all and other videos from this place, a whole nother guppy section to roll. So thanks again, Rit, and like we say, tank on, everybody. Later.
Later.
Perfect.